I can't believe that. I can't believe that. Football, by the hell.
Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Red Devils Digest. Today I'm with Kyne and Gavin as per. How are you both?
Good, really good.
Good to hear. How are you, Kyne?
I'm good, thanks.
Great to hear. We'll be discussing all the topics surrounding Man United over the past week. And we've obviously got a few to discuss in depth, as there's been quite a lot of news over the past week. And I'll just go through the topics like the brief topics, and then we'll get into them. So Maguire, how we could possibly make the best of it, the Manchester United hierarchy and how that could be improved, and just our thoughts on it. Rangnick quotes throughout the Brighton and the Leeds game, but mainly the Brighton game. Gary Neville's quotes about the leaks. He had one specific quote. Nemanja Matic leaving, possibly staying to do his coaching badges, staying around the club. Replacement CDM, captaincy and maybe Pogba. Manager news, review of Brighton, review of Leeds and Sancho, as he deserves a special mention, a preview of the Atletico Madrid game. So we'll get into Ralph Rangnick's quote on Harry Maguire. This was the 14th of February, so I think that's around a week ago now. And he said, this is from Fabrizio Romano, Ralph Rangnick protecting Harry Maguire. Maguire is our captain and I don't see any reason to change that. He is also a player who has to develop and get better like all of the other players. In the last two games, he had some weaker moments, but he is our captain, and I see no reason to change that. The way we are playing now is new to him. In England team, he's used to a back three. Man United is used to a back four, but not on the front foot trying to defend. Now, I want to get both your thoughts on that. I'll start with you, Kyne. Do you think we can make the best out of the situation with Maguire, or do you think he'll turn out to be where he shouldn't be starting for us?
I think we can use him and utilise him at points, but overall, I don't think he's going to be like a league winner with us. I don't see it. Obviously, they're going to win the Champions League this year, so he is going to have that under his name as well as relegations. But I feel like if we're wanting to progress and get on the level of City or Liverpool and Chelsea, there needs to be an improvement, because he's class for England and he always performs in the Euros and the World Cup. Say always, the two competitions where he did it, but that's enough. Whereas at United, there's not the same Harry Maguire. And that could be put on the fact that he's the captain and there's the pressure and the money that was on him when he signed of 80 million, the captain. There's a lot of pressure on him, which could damage him, as we said. But I feel like he can be a squad player and be rotated to play in the UCL. Yeah. But he shouldn't be a top starter for us.
That's fair. That's fair enough. I personally think he should be starting. Obviously, he's worth it. He's not worth £80 million, but we bought him for £80 million. And at the end of the day, that is what it is. And we don't really like the fact that we bought him for that. However, he is our captain. For me personally, I'm going to back him as much as he starts and believe in him and publicly believe in him as well, which I have tried to do. I want to get your thoughts on the whole situation with Maguire, Gavin.
If you break it down what Ralph said, he said he's not used to playing the way that we play. So for England, he plays in a back five. He's got protection around him. He's got two DMs in front of him. And he plays brilliant. Last year, under Ollie, and the year before, we play with, yes, a back four, but two DMs in front.
Yeah.
He plays good. It's when you want to play on the front foot, when you want to play a high line, that's when he's found wanting. So when we sit back and we play the counter-attacking football that Ollie brought to the team, which apparently we're supposed to be known for, yes, we're good on the counter attack, but attack more than counter attack.
Yeah.
We should be a sit back, soak up pressure, and counter attack. But anyway, that's regardless. When we play that type of football, that suits Harry because everybody is back. And then we got the speed of the front attack to basically break down and get the goals. Now we've got the likes of Varane in the squad. We can play that higher line. So we're further up the pitch. And that's where he's been found wanting, where he's either been turned or he hasn't got the pace to get back. So there is a conflict as to what kind of style of play we're going to be having moving forward. Because if you think about it, if we bring in somebody like a Ten Hag, is Harry actually going to complement his style of football? With regards to what Ralph was saying about him not being used to our style of play. Well, if we're going to sit back and defend, have 2 DMs or a back 5, then yeah, we'll be fine. But if we're going to be playing expansive football with a high line and attacking a low block, I can't see a future. I just can't.
That's fair enough. Obviously, he does suit certain styles of play and does suit sort of team sitting back, like when we play with McTominay and Fred, for example. When we play just very pragmatic in general, when England play quite pragmatic, which with England, I don't actually mind. I think it's very effective the way Southgate does it. However, obviously, it's much different to the way we want to play as Manchester United, the way we want to play as sort of a team and build up and sort of be on the front foot, as you say, and sort of have wave after wave of attack and play a high line, which we may struggle to do with Harry Maguire. Now, the Manchester United football hierarchy got released by Laurie Whitwell last week, and I feel like this is one of the best pieces of news I've seen in a while, because it properly breaks down everything. Now, bear with me while I read it because I need to zoom in and zoom out and scroll across. So it starts at the top. Now, the two people at the top, we are absolutely not happy with and very rarely going to be happy with. Joe Glazer. Joe Glazer is the owner. Richard Arnold is the chief executive. You've got co-owners, which are members of his family and things like that. You go to the left and you've got Ralph Rangnick as the interim manager, which he will go into the tier below him, which is the consultancy role. But the sort of teams roles, you've got Ewan Sharp, assistant coach / analyst. I think the word is Sasha Lenz, sports psychologist. I feel like that's a very important role, one that should have been implemented earlier on in the club's sort of reign. Maybe even in Ollie's reign, maybe that would have helped just some players even more than he already did. Chris Armas, assistant coach. Mike Phelan, assistant manager. And then you go sort of a little bit more above the team. Justin Cochrane, head of first team development. I assume he's working with the sort of the youth there and things like that. You go to Nick Cox, sounds a bit mad, doesn't it? Head of academy. Go to Simon Wells, senior scout. Mick Court, senior technical chief scout. Jim Lawler, chief scout. Marcel Boot, head of global scouting. Steve Brown, head of recruitment operations. Matt Judge, obviously we can't stand Matt Judge, director of football negotiations. Alan Dawson, head of football operations. John Murtagh, football director. Now, obviously we all hate the Glazers and we hate the way the club's being run and things like that. And if you actually look at it from a bigger perspective than even what we just spoke about there, the Glazers are quite running the club into the ground, sort of thing, and sort of absolutely not aiming for where we want to be. However, I feel like there's a positive future, more positive than the post-Fergie era so far. I'm not going to say anything like oh, they're good owners or anything. I just feel like the Super League has woke them up. sort of, how the fans reacted to that. I want to get your thoughts on that, Gavin. Do you think there's a positive future, or do you think there isn't?
I think having Ralph come in has put that structure in place. I think having Ed Woodward step aside has helped put that structure in place. Did you say, Fletcher, what he was doing?
He's the technical director, yeah.
So, I mean, even Ralph doesn't know, but I mean, I just feel that with regards to the way it's been in the past, with recruitment, contracts, with, selling players, buying players, where we're keeping people when we should be selling them, we're selling people when we should be keeping them, we're running down contracts when we should be trying to either make money on them, or it's just a bit of a mess, to say the least. So seeing these different divisions being put in place, although you could say the right-hand side of it, which is with Avram, with Joe Glazer, all the way down to Fletcher.
Yeah.
That side, no change. Job titles might have changed, but they're people that have been in the club for a long time. Even Richard Arnold left GM Good Morning Britain to do the entertainment, gone and joined Manchester United.
He was on Good Morning Britain.
Oh yeah. Different.
I didn't know that.
Different Richard Arnold, mate. Don't worry about
it. Right.
The one on Good Morning Britain is a big day. So yeah. The other side of it, where you've got the sports analyst, you've got the mental health guy, the psychologist, the stuff which Ralph has brought in, that's a positive. That's something which, as you said, Kyne, we should have already had in the club to start off with. How we haven't had these things which you expect a club of our size to have, it's baffling. It really is. So, to me, it's a positive. And once Ralph goes upstairs, that should improve it even more so.
I agree. Before I ask your opinion, Kyne, there was this. United made an announcement during the week. I think it was Tuesday. They made the announcement. Official: Manchester United has appointed Rick McGar as its first head of fan engagement to strengthen relationship with the fans and relations with the fans, and ensure that their interests are embedded in the club's decision-making processes. Do you think that that's just like just a little bit of a PR, or do you think it is a positive thing? I want to believe it's a positive thing personally. I do believe that we are starting to head in the right direction, but nowhere near yet.
I'm surprised it didn't go for Goldbridge.
We won't speak about him. But honestly, what's your opinion on the whole sort of situation and what I've just read out to you there, Kyne?
I think genuinely, depending on the manager that we bring in, that's what I think determines the future.
Yeah.
Because if you bring in Poch, it could be a decent 3 years, but he doesn't give me the kind of, I'm going to be here for a long time. I'm going to win you trophies. Where with Ten Hag, I think if he comes in, there's a few signings that can be made at least this summer. And if they sign Ten Hag and make them signings, it shows the fans that they want success. And they're not just, going, we'll buy you these 2 players, but not these 2. And you can have whatever CDM we want instead of what you want. If he comes in and says, these are 3 players I want to sign, and these are 4 players I want out of the club, and they do that, and they stick by him, that can be good for us. I think the fan engagement, it's a load of bollocks. It's just to kind of make few people that aren't really aware of what goes on at the club kind of then think, oh, that's brilliant, because now we've got someone that's going to take our idea. They won't take our ideas on board. They don't really care. If you want to make your voice heard, you've got to do what happened with the Super League.
Yeah,
cause a big disruption. Because if we didn't do that, we'd probably be one of the 2-3 teams that are still trying to make it happen.
I agree with
that.
That.
Ridiculous. You have to do something like that, and obviously, there's probably never going to be anything like that happens for a long time because of our reaction to it. But some people think if I keep replying under Man United's tweets, sell Harry Maguire or sign a striker, the guy that's the captain of fan engagement or whatever is going to read it and go, boys, this guy on Twitter told us to sign Tuchemani. We've got to do it. Like, it's not going to happen.
I do agree with you there. However, there's some more information about Rick Magar here that I'm going to read out, and also an opinion from a huge fan of the club as well. Magar is a member of Fans Forum and Fans Advisory Board, and a respected member of the fan community who has been a regular at home and away European games for over 25 years. This is from Jay Motti, who is on Stretford Paddock and has featured on this channel twice. Anyone who knows Rick will be buzzing about this for once United doing something that makes complete sense. And someone said, thanks for the info, Jay. Great start. I want to get your opinion on that. Do you think that's just ultra positivity from people, or?
I just think it depends. They're not really gave us an explanation of what the role is.
No.
Just said this is his new role. What does that mean? What does that mean? Our voices will get heard without having to get games called off and have big issues. What does it actually mean? What's his role? How's that going to help us? Because you're saying he's the head of fan engagement. Does that just mean, there's going to be a new Twitter account or people will reply to your tweets? Or does that genuinely mean we will have a say in some of the future things going ahead for Man United?
Yeah. Hopefully it does mean that.
Ideally, yeah.
Yeah,
In a real world, we're taking the fans' voices on board.
Yeah. Sorry, what was you saying, Gavin? Your audio was cutting out.
They need to break down exactly what the role will actually do. But I mean, I'm skeptical, but I'm willing to see where it goes.
Yeah.
But if you go back to the European Super League, we had that statement from Must that was put in about what us as fans want with regards to the ESL, the running of the club. And they literally gave it to the club and said, this is from us. You need to implement these things. And apart from this fan share thing, which I've heard nothing more of, this is the first thing that I've heard that's got the word fan in it since that statement was put in. So
I think they are working on that. There has been. It's a bit random when the updates are, because I've got notifications on for Man United Twitter just to obviously keep up to date with team news, etc. And there's sort of some random updates every now and again about it. And Must made a breakthrough in discussions. It was it was released from Sky Sports. I think it was around a month and a half ago. So we can only hope. Obviously, it's the hope that kills everyone with football, but we can only hope the best for the future. However, we can only go off the past as well, and the past hasn't been great. Hopefully, the Super League did change things.
there's been a for so long between the club and the fans.
Yeah,
Our voices haven't really been heard. We're hysterical fans, and okay. Social media hasn't helped. There is a division of social media which are toxic. Some people on YouTube have not been exactly great. But the majority of us fans, we just want the club to be successful, run properly, and to have some form of structure in place from top to bottom where we can look at it and go, you're a football club. You're not just about business and money and things like that.
I think before, well, I'll say what I was about to say in a minute when we've gone through the comments. To up the Reds, yo, Kyne, I hope you're well, KG. Thank you for tuning in for yet another stream. CR7 fan is excited to see you, Kyne. Kyne is fully convinced all of us that we're going to win the league. Yeah, our title charge is on, man. Our title charge is on. What are we, 26 points behind?
United still. United, isn't it?
Yeah. I know I've not been around Twitter, but who's kind supporting this week? You change your profile picture more times than I've had out dinners.
I actually did this week. Yesterday was ridiculous. It changed about 10 times from United, City, Liverpool.
Honestly,
loads of different teams.
If Atleti don't knock us out, then we have a small chance of winning the Champions League. They've not got most of their players in the squad, which we will speak about. Most of their strongest players. We will speak about this later on in the stream. I agree. He doesn't suit a high line. That's about Maguire. He doesn't have the pace for a high line. He definitely doesn't. Unfortunately, he moves like a truck. Both Maguire and Shaw played well last season, and this season they've both been awful. So maybe they benefit each other and make each other play better. That's a very good point, actually. Hashtag Glazers out. Hopefully, eventually, we live to see them gone. I feel like, from what I've read, the current Glazer family, like the current generation, if that makes sense, of the Glazer family, obviously aren't United fans. They're not running the club properly. Their children are apparently United fans and have grown up supporting United. How true that is, I have no idea. So hopefully, if they ever take over, they just sell, and just go. That's all we want. I think Maguire and Shaw got a bit over their heads. I'm not sure. I think they were both very good last season. Matt Judge's role, useless.
As well.
Pardon?
Good in the Euros as well.
Yeah, they were. Especially Shaw. He had a broken rib whilst playing as well. I'm not sure if you read that. But he had a broken rib whilst playing, and obviously he's done well. Matt Judge's role.
Well,
yeah. Matt Judge's role, non-existent. Ralph Brand goes back. Hello, Temsy. I hope you're all right. Ralph is doing well. Fletcher, the technical director, doing rondos with the team. I'm not sure what Fletcher's actually doing, but I don't know. I've absolutely no idea. I think none of us have any idea. Ralph brings us hope. He wants Ten Hag, for example, whereas the board want Poch. You can see the difference on their level of thinking in the football industry. Yep. Ibrahim says hello. I will mention your tweet from before, Ibrahim, in the stream later on as well. I won't speak on that person, CR7 fan. Our next 7 games are Atleti, Watford, City, Spurs, Atleti, Scousers, and Leicester. We are so screwed. I'm going to say we win 5 out of 7 of them games.
Do you think we lose to City and Liverpool?
I think we lose to Watford and Spurs.
We tend to play good against City. Mean, it depends on what tactics he sets up with, I suppose. Does he play to the strengths of the team right now with that 4-2-3-1, with the counter-attacking? I mean, McTominay always seems to play well in games with the Leeds. And you only got to look at Ollie's record against Pep for that. So, I don't know. I think we can get something out of the City game.
I do agree with you there. I do actually agree with you. If they were cared so much about the fans, they'd be nowhere near Poch, given how much fans don't actually want him. That's true. Although they have wanted him for ages. I booked tickets for Atletico versus Man United in the cinema. I'm going to tell you a mental story. Kind of assume you all know where I mean. I'll explain where I mean anyway. For the 99 treble, when we won the treble in 99, my uncle watched that game in the Manchester City Dome. You know where they don't own it anymore. Yeah. It's now owned by Manchester Metropolitan University, but they were showing it in the Manchester City Dome. Obviously, I wasn't around then, although I would have loved to have been around then. So hopefully football starts being shown in like venues like that, for example, venues like the cinema and things like that, which it should be great. And hope you have a great time, Kenny. Thank you for tuning in. Most fans don't want him, and I'm not surprised. I actually think we can win the majority of those games and maybe lose to Liverpool and draw some. I think we can win the majority of them too. United will lose to Liverpool. I hope not. We won't lose to Liverpool. I reckon we'll draw. Isaac says, "Evening, lads. Evening, Isaac." To be honest, I'm at a point where I want them gone more than I want them to improve. Oh yeah, of course. We all want them gone. Sick of them at this point. Like, for example, what we're going to talk about in a minute, leaks. This wouldn't be happening if we had other owners. It doesn't happen at as far as I'm aware, it doesn't happen at other clubs, especially not as much as ours. The issue is we are too inconsistent to maintain a good run of form through them games. Hopefully, we can have a great end to the season, which Sancho seems to want to have a say about. Our form has improved. Atleti are awful. Even if they had those plays, we'd beat them. I feel. Yeah, I've said for weeks they're not all that. They're really not all that at all. But for how long? Hopefully they take over and actually fix the club. Hopefully that would be ideal. That would be ideal, TA.
I wouldn't want them to, because I feel like now I've got so much hatred for them.
Yeah.
For what they've done. I wouldn't even want the kids to succeed, because then I'd have to kind of give credit to them, and I don't think I could.
Completely.
I'd rather they take over and just go, you know what?
If I'm thinking from a logical point of view, though, I can't blame what Joel and Avram have done on their children.
It's not their fault. They can't, 6 years old, say, don't do this.
Their
But
people haven't got a connection to it like we have,
Oh, yeah, never, yeah.
They're making for their families, so you can't knock them for that. But when it's something that affects billions of people or millions of people around the world, for you to be as disconnected and just use it in the way that you are is not just about you and your family. It's about every single person that buys a shirt, watches the match, sits at home, cries when we lose, cheers when we win. It's more to us than just money and making you.
It's like what's that word? Like almost like religious, but not religious. There's a word, ritual. It's like a ritual to us.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what it is.
You say the United fans, but obviously, I'm not saying that people that aren't local to Manchester or go to games aren't fans. I'm not discrediting it. But I feel like they can't really comprehend what it means to the fans that will go to a pub, stand in the rain, watch United, sing their hearts out for 90 minutes, watch us lose the Europa League, cry when that happens, battered by Liverpool, fairly got battered by City, standing there watching it for 90 minutes, and then applaud. Obviously, if you're at the game, applauding them when they come off. If you're sat at home, you still watch it for 90 minutes. I don't believe in turning off games or leaving early. You're there to support your team. You've got to suffer as part of the game. Because if you're not going to suffer and not watch us when we're off form, don't start celebrating when we're winning, is what I think. Because
I agree with that. If
you're watching us and say we lose 3-4 games in a row, and you go, I'm not watching that shit this week because we'll just lose again. In a couple of weeks' time, when we're back on form and winning the UCL, I don't want to see you celebrating and tweeting out champions of Europe.
I do agree with that.
They don't have the same connection. Obviously, there's no discredit. They might like United, love them, whatever. But there's a connection between people that grow up in Manchester, and it's kind of injected into your blood.
I would argue there's a connection. I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I would argue there's a connection between people who grow up watching, like supporting Manchester United, and people who maybe start watching it later on in life.
100%.
Maybe if they're 15 and they start watching United, it's a little bit different.
Because you've not.
I don't want to try and offend anyone here.
Yeah, no, there's no. As I'm saying, there's no discrediting whenever you start watching or supporting. You are a fan. We're all fans.
Yeah.
But there's a connection level of if you grow up around Manchester, in Manchester, and from birth, basically, you support United, we hate City, Liverpool, Leeds. There's a huge difference between, because there was a viral tweet on Twitter about Alanga when he scored against Leeds, saying he scored in a meaningless game. And that's I
have that person blocked. So
that's
I've not
the
seen
difference of a connection where they don't understand. That game against Leeds is massive, regardless if they're in Championship League or League Two, Vanarama National League. We hate them, they hate us. That's a massive game.
Yeah.
Regardless of if you missed in the cup, don't matter.
It's
a youngster. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, 100%. We're beating the Scousers, man. That's the spirit.
I hope so.
After the Euros, they got a bit too giddy. Maybe so. We've lost twice against City at the Etihad in 10 years, I believe. See, we've got a good record at their council house. They have, of a stadium it's not even their stadium. Hello, guys. How are you doing? I'm doing great. Thank you. Are you two doing great?
Yeah.
Great to hear. I feel like we just need complete new owners. We do, obviously, but who's going to buy Man United for £4 billion when it makes 300 million? Cover the seats in Tesla.
Tesla, actually.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll be that. I think so. They're selling their shares slowly.
It'll be like what the government are doing with the NHS, won't it?
Yeah, I think it'll get to a point where they will just sell at a profit and bug out, rather than just letting their shares go down and down and down where they lose control of the club. If they're going to be getting rid of their shares to the point where they're not the main shareholders, then why keep the club?
Yeah.
And if you're going to invest your time and your energy in the club, you're just keeping it for no reason.
Which is what the Cronkies are doing at Arsenal. It's exactly what the Cronkies are doing. I want a rebuild for the entire club. Yeah, you got to start from top to bottom. It is, that banner was right. It is rotten from top to bottom. Unfortunately, it just is. And you can only be as positive as you can possibly be without not being realistic like that. It is broken, and unfortunately, it's them lot who have broken it. The Glazers, the name Glazer is grim. I couldn't back them. Yeah, fair enough, obviously, but they won't sell the club ever, no matter how much we protest. They're making tens of millions of pounds a day, and if you're a business person, who would let that go?
There's one way to stop them, which, as I spoke about with the ESL, it's never really going to happen, is if you stop giving them the money. Obviously, it's
impossible.
Because we, as Manx and like the more connected fans, we can go, fuck them, we're not buying shirts anymore. But there's still going to be millions of people that don't understand that and go, but I want to.
The thing is, I don't want people to stop buying shirts. There's a reason for this, because I'm gonna give an example. My cousin Scarlett, my auntie took her to the mega store. She wanted a shirt. She's 6 years old. She's not going to understand about the Glazers, and obviously I'm sat there thinking, yeah, we have just funded the Glazers here, but like obviously she's 6 years old.
Yeah,
she's a child.
You're not funding the Glazers because that deal has already been made. The money has already been paid. What you're doing when you buy a shirt is only a small percentage of it that goes to the Glazers. What we did during the ESL, where we attacked their sponsors and things like that, that had them more scared than any protest that we could have ever done. And that brought on the changes that we needed, because they suddenly had a position where they were having sponsors saying, well, whoa, we don't want to be associated with this. Everybody was review bombing them. Everybody was pulling out of buying their things. That made the Glazers wake up.
You're completely
They're
right.
not bothered whether people buy the shirts or not, because the deal has already been done. It's the same with this new sponsor that they've got for the training tops. That money has already been done. So every time a photo gets uploaded to Cristiano Ronaldo's socials or Rashford's socials, that's earning them money back. So, yeah, there are ways of doing it. It's just not simple, especially when you've got a fractured fan base.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Imani says bonjour. Bonjour, Imani.
The beak's going down, mate. Christ.
Oh, there's no need to attack Donny van der Beek. He didn't deserve that.
He's going down. I love it.
Oh, no. I hope he doesn't go down. I think when the Glazers leave, that is what I was thinking in my head. I'm not going to say that because I don't know whether I can get banned for saying that. But I think that is true. Temsy says, I don't live in Manchester, but I go to most of the games, so just saying. That's fair enough. Yeah, I know a lot of people who don't live close but go to the games or try to go to as many games as they can, things like that. Like you, Gavin, you went to a game, was it last season? And
this is it, and this is exactly it. You've got somebody who actually lives where the team that they support are. They always feel a connection to the club.
Yeah,
that's big because it's in their blood. However, when you've got fans around the world, they feel that connection too. They might not be in the stadium because they live in or India or Australia, but they still feel a connection with the other fans, and social media helps with that. So I understand why people are upset when they talk about the fans are different that go to games than they are around the rest of the world.
It is a different experience at the game, and an experience that everyone would love to have, obviously. Some are just more fortunate than others. For me, it's not about going to the games. And I think maybe I've worded things way too badly in the past, and I completely admit that. For me, it's about following the traditions and values of the club, believing in the youth, believing in managers, doing this. Do you know what I mean? Believing in this sort of way of thinking in the sense of like with a player with Rashford, believing in him after having an off season, things like that. I feel like it's about that's in your heart. Although obviously I love going to the games. I wouldn't trade going to the games for anything unless it was winning the lottery. Really, I wouldn't trade anything like that.
Yeah, because there's no discredit to the fans that live far away.
No,
they're still saying the fans they support United. I just do kind of believe there's still a connection to the club. You still love your fans. You know, you're all Man United. You're United as fans. But I do think there is a bit of a different type of connection when you're raised in Manchester. Because when I go to my dad's, I always go past Old Trafford, and there's the feeling inside of seeing it and knowing that's my club's ground.
Also,
there's no discredit to Londoners or anyone else. It's just the kind of growing up with the whole Man United's just there. I feel that gives you more of not a love, but a connection, because everyone loves the club. You can love it.
Bread, you know. So
yeah, that's that
level of attraction and love for the club because of where you are, because it is your local club, because you've grown up in that area. So I do get that, and you know, I'm not one of these that will go, oh well, I'm just as much a fan as you guys, because I am, of course I am. I'm a fan of Manchester United like you guys are, but you feel a different connection when it's your local. I get
that. For me, it's also about, let's say, going to school. Obviously, when I went to school, there's City fans there. Some of my best mates are City fans, and obviously there's not that many City fans. City aren't a global club, are they? As much as we like to take the piss, they're actually not a global club. And going to school, like a lot of people that go to school, and some will see Liverpool fans, etc. But it's like, I remember getting taken the piss out of when City won that title, that first title, the one with the Aguero goal. I remember getting taken the piss out of it, and I'm stood there waiting for form, and these people chatting about City winning the league, and it's like, oh, like I just want you all to shut up about it. And obviously you've got City fans right next to you. You've got City fans there, all over in the actual school and in work, etc. I feel like it's a lot of that where it's like, oh, you're hearing other fans like you can hear Scousers talking about and things like that. Or obviously City fans, like I'm saying. I feel like that's what it is. But I feel like a lot of being a great fan is following the traditions and values of the club, and the traditions and values that were set in place by the Busby Babes, Sir Matt, Jimmy Murphy, the Doc, Sir Alex Ferguson, people like that, huge figures in the club.
And I agree with the school thing, because there's a bit more of when Derby Day's on, you know, if you win, when you go into school on Monday, you've got your mates, you can go, you're shit, it's just all kind of, one of our mates, Joel, who's a City fan, has a season ticket. He was at the Spurs game. He sent me a video when Mahrez scored. I was sat on the bus thinking, fuck. I messaged him about Spurs as well, saying you're getting battered. And then they score again to win it. And then they straight away messaging going, There's just kind of different more. And it's banter, obviously, because it's just football. But there's the kind of your mates being City fans. And there's that kind of pride. And just being able to take the mick out your mate when Derby Day happens.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sorry, let me just click on the other comment. This is me when people hate on Ronaldo, calling the problem 24/7, then celebrate his goal. I don't think Ronaldo's the problem. I just think he's 37.
I stand by him. People do think he's the problem, and I understand why. And obviously, you said he got Ollie sacked. I understand.
I didn't say he got. I don't think he got Ollie sacked. I think
you said you're one of the main reasons for it. Like,
I think him coming in, the signing of Ronaldo, not Ronaldo himself.
I just think if he was an experienced manager, he'd have been able to adapt to it.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Obviously, it's unfortunate Ollie got sacked. I loved him, but all has to come to an end eventually. Alex Ferguson did. Future managers will. Ronaldo's not an issue. He is going to carry us to the UCL. He's missed the Champions League. Just wait until we play Atletico. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah. Have United fans telling me Leeds isn't a massive game because we didn't play them for ages? Honestly, there's a reason we hate Liverpool and Man City, and then we all hate Leeds. And then I'm not going to say that word because I don't know whether I can get banned for it.
I don't think you can get banned for saying that word.
I honestly don't know. I don't know if YouTube nowadays.
It's not my channel, so I'm not going to start.
We lost 3-1 to Palace, and the camera pointed to Woodward and Osanga because he needs Sancho. Yep. Media hates us so much. Have you seen what Bruno said about it? About his Instagram post? I've not actually. If you could let me know, because if that's breaking,
I'll just have a quick look now. If you.
Yeah, because that could be big. Saying Leeds isn't a massive game shows you haven't spotted them for more than 5 years. Yeah, it's massive. Rest on Van der Beek, Kyne, CR7 fan says, because I've been here. You get slated in the chat. Say a lot of stuff.
Down.
Kenny, the thing is
YouTube, not Twitter. People on Twitter get at him, but on YouTube they are very.
Kenny, the thing is, I could have been cancelled many times, so I'm very careful of what I say nowadays. Don't come at Danny like that. There's a difference between believing in players and also just thinking they aren't good enough. Oh yeah. I won't mention that person that you mentioned, CR7 fan. I just don't want any trouble. I've lived in Manny all my life, and I agree with you most games, and that I can. But Manny is still a shithole. No. Oh yeah, I say this all the time.
Certain places are right, but when there's a feeling when you're like at the toll gate, it's not a shithole. That's when you are united together.
Oh yeah.
There's a difference between being in Cheetah Mill and
being in Cheetah Mill or Burnage.
Yeah, there's a big difference between different areas that are really shitholes and a bit nicer for Manchester.
Right. We will get onto the onto the next topic now, and a person who obviously we've just been speaking about the owners, and a person who I dream of owning Manchester United one day, and I think he's one of 3 people that could cause Manchester United to have new owners or even own Manchester United. Gary Neville, on leaks of players wanting Pochettino. You're not in a position to be able to choose who your next manager is. Just get your own jobs right first and make sure you're together and doing your bit right. What's your thoughts about that?
It's true.
Yeah.
Just I agree with what he said.
What's your thoughts, Gavin?
Well, he's been coming out with some proper comments these last weeks. The club's been a bit of a mess, and he's just saying everybody else is thinking most of the time. I like Gary Neville. I must admit, I do like him. I like him when he's on Sky Sports with the Monday Night Football. I do agree with
your phone ringing, one of you. Sorry to interrupt.
It's not mine.
2 seconds. Yeah.
It was really loud. That. Sorry to interrupt. I had to interrupt there.
Are on silent as well. Don't know what that was all about.
Sorry to interrupt you there. If I've interrupted your train of thought.
Oh, it's all right. Don't worry about it. Carry on.
I completely agree with it. He also said the leaks are disgusting. I feel like he's given that person. I'm not going to say whether it's a player, whether it's a member of the media, whether it's a young player, just like you mentioned last week, Kyne. It could be anyone closely related to the club, far related to the club. It could be anyone. He's given that person an opportunity to just be quiet. And I feel like that is what's happening now. That person is being quiet. And thank God. Honestly, thank God, this season has been Jesus. It's been mental with the leaks and things like that. So he said it. He said that. Now I'm gonna ask you first, Gavin. Do you think it will stop these leaks?
I hope it'll stop. But I mean, we've been having leaks in the club for years, and I mean. I'm talking like, am I ringing again?
You can answer it if you want and join back if you need to.
Hello? You gone off?
If you need to answer it and join back.
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you, yeah. It was connection issues and things like this were always going to happen, guys.
It wasn't even coming up on my screen then. Anyway, yeah. So we've been having leaks It stopped. We've been having leaks at the club for years. I mean, match day leaks. We're always, yeah.
I can't help.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
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 If you look at over the recent years, we've had things where the match day squad is always released. You know, the lineup. You a very, very long time. This isn't just something that's new for these last couple of weeks. What's different is the fact that it's player unrest, it's factions, it's cliques, it's I want this, I don't want that. That's new. It's almost like a soap opera, like watching Coronation Street, where you've got all this stuff going on that we're not really used to, that you don't see with any other club.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I apologize for you not answering that phone call there. If you're gonna get, you might get an earful later. But I'm not sure.
That's all right.
All right, so we'll go on to sort of right. Obviously, I described it last week as what it would be, and described it today as what it would be: unbearable. The last week of news with Man United has been unbearable. Now, from Zishan, he said this on the 17th. Cristiano Ronaldo had asked Manchester United staff for a captaincy change at the start of the new year. As reported before, however, as this Goal Mirror report now reports, this conversation is resumed again. From my understanding, a change is not likely at the moment. Ranić, Ronaldo, and Maguire have had conversations about Maguire relinquishing the armband for the rest of the season to take the pressure off him as he wrestles with his own loss of form. But Maguire is reluctant for fear of losing it permanently. Maguire then comes out and says, I've seen a lot of reports that about this club that aren't true, and this is another. Not going to start posting about everything that was written. However, I need to make this one clear. We are focused. We are united and focused on Sunday. Enjoy your day, everyone. Now, for me, I can only take that at face value. And Rashford's post, I can only take that at face value. I want to get your thoughts, Kyne. Do you think they were true, the leaks, or do you think...
I think they are true. Okay. Because I feel like Ronaldo's been in the game long enough to see that someone's struggling with something like that.
My phone's died.
And when he says about relieving pressure,
it's fine.
I understand it, because Ronaldo can clearly see something with Maguire. And people will take that and think, why is he being a dick? He's not. I think he's genuinely trying to do it for the sake of the club. And he's not, I don't think he's doing it for his own benefit of, I want to be the captain of Man United. He'd probably let De Gea be the captain or Bruno. I think he just knows Maguire can struggle with the pressure and it's best to come off him. Obviously, Maguire coming out and saying that's good because it kind of just brings people's different ideas to kind of an end, closes it.
Yeah.
I feel like there probably was a conversation and I feel like Maguire probably doesn't want to lose it, because it is understandable if he gave it to Bruno Fernandes, for example, and then all of a sudden we pick up a huge amount of form, leaks or something stop happening, and the whole team just kind of started getting along a lot recently, and you've seen it with the celebrations like Brentford.
When we in a second.
Okay.
Everyone was kind of loving it. Obviously, we're reviewing Leeds later. I loved the game. It gave me such a feeling of the players understand it now. The mud, as the commentators were saying, it kind of gave off the old-fashioned,
Yeah.
You see United Leeds, it's a scrappy game. But, yeah, I understand why Maguire said it. I do think it's true that there has been conversations. Maguire can't really come out and say, me, Ronaldo and Rangnick had a meeting.
No.
I don't want to lose my armband, but Ronaldo wants it gone. And the reason, I don't know if I said it last week, but it's something I've spoke about when Bruno cries and moans and stuff, is he kind of acts like he's somebody in the sport, and I don't believe he is. I don't think he's done enough in football to really have an impactful voice or something. Say about Maguire is kind of to have that understanding where Ronaldo's done outstanding things in the sport, goals, trophies. So I feel like his experience can kind of come to a, Maguire's struggling. And as I said, he's not doing it in a, I don't like Maguire being captain. He
No,
probably
yeah,
struggle like we do. Because that's what we've said is it could be pressure. And obviously, if it is true, then you never know because there's no confirmation.
yeah.
Whether
There is news today as well, which I feel like is very positive news personally. Mo Ibrahim, who generally gets quite a lot right, he's always in this chat, always supporting. He said there was no fight or argument in the Manchester United dressing room regarding captaincy. Now, again, I can only take that from face value. I would rather believe this person than someone at the Mirror who may have an ulterior motive or may be telling the truth, but I would rather believe this as this is the current news and it reflects what we've seen on the pitch, especially after the past few games. Do you believe that they are united now, as in like together?
I think they are, and it also comes down to as well players understanding it and not just Maguire kind of switching and being we need to be more united. It's all the players also realising, come on lads, there's a chance that we can get top 4 looks likely. And I know last week I said I didn't think we're going to get it or it's unlikely. Then last 2 games, I've become more positive. It looks likely, and I feel like the players know they can succeed this season, pull it back. Bruno said about the Champions League. I feel like the players talking, they could all. And you've seen it in the games when we celebrate. And, I loved Maguire versus Leeds' little celebration in front of the Leeds fans.
Yeah, I did.
It does show the passion.
It does. I think he does care, Maguire. I think
he does.
Sometimes he's just a little bit of a robot. Sometimes,
it's
just show your character
about it.
Yeah, and
he might be a bit scared to kind of be really aggressive because he thinks people might say something.
Yeah,
but I'd rather see Harry Maguire jump around in front of the fans after we score, like Leeds, winding them up, shouting in front of them, than just clap and walk back into his own half.
I completely agree. I'm going to give an example of a program which I'm not sure whether you'll have watched. However, I think I could compare Maguire to this, just as a situation, obviously not comparing to the person. There was a program called Educating Yorkshire, which showed a school in Yorkshire, and this lad had a really bad lisp. And he eventually got over it and a really bad stammer and eventually got over it and learned to get over it. But he didn't have the confidence. The confidence was a huge issue. And I feel like Maguire's confidence is a huge issue, and which means he's very timid, very sort of robotic-like. Because I've got a picture of him. I tweeted the picture of him. I've got a picture of him when he's pointing to the England badges showing heart. And when he does show heart, you're like, that's my centre-back. Do you know what I mean? I feel like the confidence is a huge issue. What's your thoughts about that?
I agree, because when you look at Vidic, Neville, Ferdinand, Kyne, they've never had that kind of lack of confidence to just go, this is my club, I'm the captain. Or not my club as in the players bigger, but I'm the captain, I love the club, we're all a team. Maguire probably does have a bit of a confidence issue, because he probably does notice the difference between himself playing with England and United and the different style. And, when he thinks, I don't know if I can keep up with this, there probably is an issue. He looks like he's overcoming it. And if he does, we could see a brand new Maguire. And he just switches and starts playing like he can do, which is great. And then I think he should be a starter. And he should still start now alongside Varane. I don't think he should be completely dropped. I understand certain times during certain issues, getting him dropped. But I feel like overall, he needs to get, like Sancho, which we're all going to be talking about. There's clearly been a big difference from Jadon at the start of the season to where we are now, and I love it.
Definitely. TA says, I wasn't born in Manchester, but I moved to Manchester not long after. Do sometimes see the difference in attitudes between people who are from Manchester and those who aren't. No critics, but there is a difference. I do agree with that. Just like the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer situation, a lot of people, I feel like, from Manchester really, really tried to back him to the end. And then in the end, obviously, it was unavoidable. He had to go, just giving an example. A pair could do better than the Glazers yet. I think the leaks will stop after we get a new manager. I think a lot of issues will be stamped out when we get a new manager, when there's stability in the team. Stability is something that I've talked about an awful lot over the past few weeks, and it is huge to a football club, especially the size of Manchester United. Even Marcus Leak still can't say they had to blame Ollie on his bad form. We don't know whether that was Marcus or not. We've got no proof. We're only going off what people are saying.
If you give proper proof, then it's believable.
Yeah, we've got no proof.
So you look at it, doesn't it? Really, is you can take something and go, well, that's definitely true, but see something else that you don't like and disagree with it.
Yeah,
it's a bit of, in a sense, an agenda. I'm not saying that he dislikes Rashford, but I'm saying there's got to be some sort of saying one thing's true. Give me proof.
Because Rashford's had two of his best seasons under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
I remember
that would contradict it.
And the thing is, he never spoke anything to do with Ollie. When he spoke, he said it was his injuries. He wanted to play, and he kind of damaged himself by doing that. I think it was the Europa League last season.
Yeah.
When he spoke about it and said, I played through injuries this season because I want to play for United. I don't think he was leaking stuff. As I said last week, it could be he tells someone who tell you that kind of whole little.
Yeah.
I don't think he's directly leaked anything.
I agree with you there. Interim manager may influence this, not really a future figure, and possibly less respect towards him. Possibly, yeah. Whose mum shouting at sibling? I think Gavin was Gavin's children were shouting or something along those lines. Hopefully they're all right. Don't want De Gea near the armband.
Oh, mate.
I'm worried that De Gea might fall off next season like Shaw did and like he did in 18-19. I don't know. I wouldn't like
De Gea fell off, one season? And that was a dodgy season. Look at every other season when he saved us. You've got to have a bit of, everyone's got to have an off-season.
Yeah.
So Ronaldo probably has had off-seasons. It's obviously expected.
This season is an off-season despite having 9 goals from 19
looking
games.
At his numbers compared to other seasons, age is a factor. But De Gea this season has been the best keeper in the Premier League, in my opinion, because you've got to look at how much he does. And if you take away De Gea and potential, obviously you can't just say Henderson doesn't save those shots. But I feel like Henderson would concede a lot more.
Yeah.
David De Gea would.
My Fridge Maguire respect for each. I do. There has to be something from it. Can't have come out of nowhere. I just think a lot of stories come out of nowhere. I think Manchester United is the biggest club in the world, or it's out of 1 of 3 of the biggest clubs in the world, and media will use Man United sometimes. They will. It just does happen. I know there's been a lot of issues this season, but I wouldn't say a lot of the reports are true. Ibrahim, this is whose report was reading out, says there was nothing about the captaincy, by the way. They all back him, which is good to hear. I know we've got our own opinions on Maguire as a captain, but it's good to hear that they all back him. There's unity in the team, and that's what we need if we're going to win the Champions League. The starting 11 Atletico Madrid predicted with this morning: Oblak, Vichalko, Savic, Felipe. Is that Reynaldo? Is that Felipe? Is that guy, that left back on FIFA? I can't remember his name.
Felipe.
Yeah. No. I don't know who Reynaldo is actually.
Lodi,
Marcos Llorente, Herrera, Kondogbia, Correa, and João Felix. They're not all.
We can beat him. We can definitely beat him. Very beatable.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter who was. Well, it kind of does, but I wouldn't say it matters.
Is it on Maguire though?
No.
If you
Maguire was one of the better players in that whole team.
If you look at the whole season again, is Maguire real? A team gets relegated. It's the team that gets relegated. It's not Harry Maguire getting. You just go, you're in the Championship now. It's a team effort, and I'm not coming at you for your ball intelligence, CR7 fan, but you've got to look at it as the whole team was not good enough. The manager probably wasn't good enough.
One of my best friends is a Hull fan, and if
Maguire will have had off games, but is it his fault he got relegated to 4 different? Well, not four times in general.
One of my best friends is a Hull fan, and if I got her on, she'd probably say Maguire was one of the best players in the team at that point. I don't think it's on Maguire at all. Not gonna lie, during the scraps at Leicester, was shouting at Scotty and the others to knock him out. Gotta love the rivalry. Leicester.
You
I'm
mean
confused.
Leeds? Or-
He might mean Leeds.
I
Yeah,
think so, because there's not really a Leicester rivalry. Is
I
there?
don't think Maguire can captain a club like United. He should have stuck to a mid-table club. That's possible again, but I don't think we should change captain mid-season. I think it's again, the club have already been through quite a traumatic time in terms of football by changing manager, especially changing manager who was a club legend. Like, whether we like to deny it or not, it is quite a traumatic thing for the club to go through. It's quite a lot of change for the players, quite a lot of change for everyone around them, and things like that. In fact, Maguire is from Sheffield too, proper Yorkshire lad.
Yeah.
Grealish 17 games, 2 goals. Ilanga 9 games, 2 goals. That's
Grealish is going to be cooking. Don't you worry. Give it a couple.
Oh, don't be backing Grealish.
He's a baller.
Maguire's debut sold me dreams. Yeah, there's no balance at all in United. No. The Ilanga shush was too cold. Bodied Leeds. I love Marcus. People just believe the news they want to. Believe in Christian Falk after his track record with his non-German news is just for agenda. I agree with that. But he made it. That tweet had 3,000 quote tweets in an hour. He made that unbearable. It was all over social media. You couldn't move for seeing it. And the fact that Marcus came out all guns blazing was amazing for me. I loved it. Marcus is great. The Falkness was disgusting. Yeah, it was. The Falk news. Yeah, it was. I don't believe it at all. Really, kind of crazy. He told Marcus wrong too. Yeah, he really tried to save face. Media use clubs. It's the truth. It's definitely the truth. There's no doubt about that. That's why people say, like back 10 years ago, people would say, "Oh, it's paper talk." Like signing Leighton Baines, it was paper talk. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's Twitter talk.
Yeah, exactly. Now that left back is a new signing from Lille, I think. Right, okay. The centre back is Brazilian and fodder. Cheers for that.
I don't think he's fodder on FIFA because I've never seen him.
Never seen him. Hope you're well, Gavin. Hope everything was all right there.
The kids killing each other. Don't worry about it. Sibling rivalry. What can I say?
Yeah, Kenny said whose siblings are shouting at each other.
It might as well be rival. Might as well be a ref. UFC got nothing on them too. I tell you.
Correa is a player to watch when he's on serious sport.
You can watch the kids fight each other instead of watching UFC.
Do a watch along of the kids fight. No, we can't be doing that.
Not on YouTube.
No. João Felix is Correa is a player to watch when he's on serious form. I think he got player of the month, didn't he? La Liga player of the month. João Felix, and if Griezmann is fit, it could be a long day for us.
Griezmann's not starting apparently. Though.
Yeah, he's not starting.
No.
But do you want your captain to have that on your CV? No, but he has got it on his CV. The
question is if Roy Keane prior to United had 4 relegations on his CV, would you say you don't want him to be a captain? I understand there's a leadership difference, but that's not what he's mentioned. He said about relegations. That doesn't take away how good they are as a player. Because Maguire can still be world class on his day. Yeah.
I've just been slated by a CR7 fan for saying about the watch along. I realised afterwards it was a joke, obviously. Using relegation logic is like trophy logic. It's so stupid. This is an individual sport. Yeah, I agree. Maguire gets most hate because of how much his price was. Can't blame him, in my opinion. I do agree with that. Obviously, he's not been good this season. There's no getting away from that.
But he was good at the Euros and he was good last season. Okay, fair enough. We were playing defensive football with technically having a back 6, but he did have a good season last year.
Yeah. It's what changed. I do often think this, like you guys know, I talk about Solskjaer a lot, and I did like Solskjaer as manager. But what actually, I'm not asking anyone the question here. I'm just sort of thinking out loud. What changed for the whole team? It wasn't just signing Ronaldo. It wasn't just all his tactics were tacticless. There's many factors that must have gone into the whole team just performing terribly, including Maguire. Something changed.
I think that we came into the season with such positivity. There was obviously the final of the Euros affected the likes of Shaw and Maguire. What happened in the summer with Maguire and everything, that's still all up in the air with regards to the Greece situation. But he's come back into the team. He's supposed to be club captain. Ronaldo comes in. You know, there's got to have been a moment where Maguire was going, "Oh, am I going to lose my captaincy?" But
Yeah.
not only that, I think people saying Ronaldo is a problem. I think for Maguire, Varane was more of a problem. Don't get me wrong. I think Varane is world class, and I wouldn't say he's a problem per se. But I think for Maguire, he was, because what Varane gives you is that speed, that pace, which then allows us to play that high line.
Yeah.
And that's when Harry got found out, because he's just not capable of playing it. So I think when you've got the defense shaky, you've got the midfield, which wasn't fixed. Then you've got Ronaldo up front. What happened with Greenwood? Everything that's been going on in the press, in the media, everything it's just been a capitulation, and it's been happening over the last 12 months. This is the last month of Ollie and the first 6 months of the year.
Yeah, no, I can understand that and agree with that. Grealish joined City to win trophies if he bottles the Premier League 1-0 in his first season. They better not bottle the Premier League. I'm not saying I want City to win the Premier League, but they better not bottle this season.
Sounds like you are saying you want City to win the Premier League, Keith.
No, don't put me in that.
I think that's what you're saying.
No.
You want City to win it. I think they have to, though.
We're not having any of that. I'm not saying any of that.
I think they kind of have to.
Chelsea.
I mean, Chelsea's the one ideally.
Yeah.
Because Scousers then get 20.
Yeah.
City win it.
You look
kind of on the edge 3 in a row, and we can't allow that either.
TA says, I don't know why, but I still see Grealish at United one day. I don't. It could be so funny when Grealish explodes next season. You just know he's going to be crazy and cause the league problems. I just don't think he will. I think he's secured that contract and that's it.
He will explode. He is going to hit that ground. Whether it's next season or the season after, believe you me, Jack Grealish will be a superstar.
I don't think it will.
It's going to be an Ollie signing anyway. I just don't think the board backed him in that sense. They said, well, we can't be Grealish, but here's Donny.
Yeah.
I think that although Ollie had money spent on him, I don't think it was spent the way that Ollie wanted. I mean, we talked about this last week with regards to always getting the players that we want the following year after we need them. I do think Grealish will come good at City, but how is he going to get his chance? Everywhere that he can play, there's quality not only in front of him, but sitting next to him on the bench. So unless he tears it up in some of the lesser cup games, like, I don't know, the Carabao Cup final, wherever, they're out of that one, aren't they?
No, they're only in the Champions League. Are they in the FA Cup still? I think they are.
So, that's where he's going to have to play and play well just to be able to get in the PL team, because he's not going to show the quality being sat on the bench.
No, I agree with that. We are one of the biggest names in sport. We get linked to players we aren't even in for. We had a whole Julian Alvarez saga we weren't even in for. Yep, we are. Media use our name for clicks. I do agree with that. I think the players just lost belief. It clearly showed at the end of Ollie's reign. Yeah, I do agree with that. I think there was an almost unbreakable bond between the players and Ollie. It was broken, and not even one player has been the same. Yeah, that's a very good point. Because like, as much as people like say, oh, he was terrible, he was tacticless, there was some good feelings and good vibes and good days under Solskjaer, and that's what made the bond unbreakable. And things like that. There was, and the players did love him until this season. Whatever changed, we'll never know unless Ollie does an autobiography.
I don't think he loves the club too much.
No,
He's not going to do Jose or a Van Gaal and basically spill the beans. I think he's got too much love and respect for the club to do
Even
that.
if he didn't love the club, I think he's just a good man and wouldn't do that. I think he's too humble.
It's a shame, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'd buy the book. I wouldn't buy that book.
I'd buy his book, yeah. If Atletico play a back five tomorrow, I think we'll struggle to get a result. Ronaldo needs to be on his A game. Plus whoever is playing at DM, because their midfield is extremely good. That's a good point.
Beat a low block though. We've now got players that can beat a low block.
Sancho.
Before last season, part of our problem was we didn't have the players to go up against teams that sat back. I think we have now. I think we've got that front sort of four who are intelligent, who can pass when need to pass, shoot when they need to shoot, play the intricate passes and whatnot. So I'm not worried if Atleti do back five and sit back. So, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. No joke. Was thinking a few weeks ago, I thought, you know what, I'm going to give him back Maguire, give him another chance since then. He's done well. Maybe you're the answer, Kino. Maybe you're the answer to all our prayers. But we'll go into the Ranić quotes of the Brighton game now. This was a very important win, especially after the first half. The second half was more aggressive. Highly important win for us. Let me just say, I had to walk 4 miles out from Old Trafford because the Metrolink was shut. 4 miles just to get a taxi. I had to walk.
We feel we had to walk with you.
Oh yeah. So I was speaking to you the whole time, moaning about it.
I'm here, I'm there, and I'm like going, yeah, run, jog, just do something.
I do apologise. Ranić on half time. We told our we told our 2 wingers to attack the centre back, so our fullbacks could jump to their fullbacks. That paid off with the Elanga and the red card. We should have killed the game off much earlier. We were not lethal enough. In the first 10 minutes of the second half, we had more success and successful moments, and it raised the crowd. They were not moaning and were getting behind the team. First half was Mr. Hyde. Funnily enough, I watched clips of this film last night on Gogglebox episode. First half was Mr. Hyde. Second half, Dr. Jekyll. And for a change, the result was different. In the end, it was important to get the 3 points against an informed team. It should have been 3-4-0 after 75 minutes, but there is a lack of assuredness in front of goal. We showed maturity, unity. We showed maturity and unity in the end. I think we highly deserved to win. The atmosphere was great. Sometimes we tried to cool things down, but this is what I did when I went on the pitch. I didn't want any red cards. It was important the way they reacted. Right. I want both of your thoughts on that. We'll start with you, Gavin.
Well, it's lucky you watched the film because you might have had to read a book. God help you. So you can definitely see that there's a difference with regards to how it's been in recent weeks. And I love the way he breaks things down. He doesn't sort of hide. He's honest. He breaks it down tactically. I love the fact that he's trying to being on the pitch the other day. You're like going, what was he doing on the pitch? Somebody told us you're not allowed on the pitch in the Premier League. But you respect it. You like it because you're like, this guy cares. You see the likes of Bruno. He's been very, very whiny to the referees, and it does get a bit frustrating when you see it. You'd rather have that shouting at the players like Scott McTominay does, where it's, real aggression, getting into people's faces and saying, right, come on, get a tackle in. So I like it when Ralph breaks things down, shows that honesty. Whereas with Ollie, it was the boys did well, the boys are good, the boys are this, the boys are that. It was all positivity. It's a breath of fresh air just to have proper tactical nous and break things down. It's really good. I like it.
Yeah, I agree with that. What's your thoughts, Kyne?
I think it's good that he does actually speak about the right things and doesn't try to cover it up.
Tactically as well.
Yeah, it's good that he kind of shows the fans that he's okay with talking about it. There's no kind of hiding and does it all behind the scenes. So we've then got to think, when he gets in the locker room, the changing room, does he start saying this, saying that? Or is he how he appears? He clearly shows what he's like. And again, with Leeds, when he came on the pitch, it kind of just shows that he does want to win. And it shows a passion that he's got for United.
Yeah.
He's not just there as an interim manager. I think he knows that he wants to succeed with his club and bring trophies, which is a great thing to have. And obviously, I think he wants to be part of our long-term future.
Yeah, I agree with that. TA made a very good point then as well, by the way. There is a Man United Legends versus Liverpool Legends game coming up, and it's written in the stars our social scores. I'll be all over social media. I'll be all over that.
Do we know who's playing?
No, is Robson the manager, I think? Is that
Yeah,
confirmed?
Brian Robson's the United manager. Don't know who Liverpool is. Keane was saying Kenny Dalglish and Ian Rush would start up front.
I was just throwing some names around.
It wouldn't be fair on them. They would go 20 minutes into the game.
Kyne, you still have Keno blocked on Twitter. Oh,
I
God.
I don't think I do.
All right.
I don't know when I blocked him. I don't even know what group chat he was in.
Or can you imagine Kenny Dalglish on the pitch? It'd be that walking football that the older men do.
It would actually be. They'd go ping, through ball, and you just see him walking like that. Just strolling, going, give me a sec to catch my breath.
So here's the Ranić quotes from Leeds. We've only got a few here. At half-time, we were fully aware that Leeds would have a go at us and they would try to play with more aggression. Still believed the first goal came out of the blue, which it bloody well did. I don't think Rodrigo intended to play the ball where he played the ball to. What's your thoughts on that one?
Channeled his inner Ronaldinho.
Yeah. Ranić, it took us 5 minutes to shake ourselves, and the reaction after that was great. I think was great. We showed maturity. We showed unity. We showed maturity. We showed maturity. We showed unity as a team on the pitch, and in the end, we highly deserved to win. And they're the only two. We've got another one here. It was perfect in regard to maturity and unity, and the best reply they could give to some articles last week that there was disruption in the locker room. A game like this one today, you can only win as a team and the mentality of a team. What's your thoughts on his quotes there, both of you?
You go first, my man.
No, I think, cheers. I do think that he's right, and it does show that he understands as well as a manager how big the United Leeds game is, not just in the sense of getting 3 points, the rivalry between the fans.
Yeah.
And I do like the fact, as I said, that he talks about it. He doesn't shy away. He is quite open, which is good. And I like to see it from a manager. I do think that obviously he's not going to be a permanent manager, which I think is a good thing. I know some people would. I've seen people wanting him as a permanent. I don't think he should be at all. He should go up and do
I agree with that.
He should do a different role. You know, when you look at who he signed for Leipzig, it's outstanding what he did there. And hopefully he can find us a few players like that to make
I agree with that. What's your thoughts, Gavin?
If you look over the last 4 or 5 games, you could actually see that he is trying to implement an attacking, winning mentality into the team. The substitutions that he's making are to win the game. Now, previously, we didn't get the win or the goal that we should have or could have. What we've seen in the last couple of games is we haven't dropped our heads. If we've gone and we're struggling, we've made the changes, we've lifted our heads up and we've just gone for it. Now, Leeds is a bit of an anomaly because obviously they play to our strengths with regards to how open they are, how attacking they are. But the leveler yesterday was the weather. The other day was the weather. It sort of made it where you are now in a position that even though it might be open, the ball isn't zipping across the turf as much as it would. The tackles are a lot more aggressive than they usually are. And to lose 2 goals in the space of a minute, you would expect on recent form for our heads to drop and Leeds to go on and win.
Yeah.
To see that fighting, no, we're not doing this. And then Ralph making those substitutions. I mean, I scratched my head. Pogba for Fred. I'm not going, wait, what? But
Yeah,
genius, you know.
yeah, it worked. It did work.
I can't get over how many goals Fred has scored just lately, and they've been banging. Right.
I've got the exact stat here. I will just search this tweet up because it made me shell shocked.
Yeah.
Hold on, I don't know whether the person's deleted. The person's deleted the tweet as well. That's annoyed me because it was a great tweet. But Fred before Ranić he had like 3 goal contributions in 77 games. He's now got 6 goal contributions in 10 games under Ranić.
Has he got 3 goals now, Fred?
3 goals and 3 assists, yeah.
So Fred's got 3 goals. Meanwhile, Lionel Messi's only got 2 in league. And
Yeah.
I mean, you had him as your profile picture last week.
Pitching around, I didn't know what to go for. Either way, yeah, he's a fraud. The guy's not top 5.
Pastor Fred welcomes Messi into the congregation. But no, I mean, we all know that there is a player in Fred. We've seen it before. That's why we call him Pastor Fred. And there's a reason that Brazil keep picking him. And when he plays for Brazil, he plays really, really well. But he's in the same situation as McTominay. You get them playing further forward, and they're different to what they are when they're sitting back. And Fred is showing that. You give him license to get forward, and he will get you either a goal, a pass, or he'll link up play. It's when they're having to sit back that they're just not up to the level. And, you know,
yeah,
I'm all for that. I've got no problem with McFred being in the team as McFred, as long as when one is forward, the other is back. And the other one's forward, the other's back.
I would like against Atletico Madrid, for example. There's a conversation to be had for me personally. Maybe we should start McTominay and Fred as a partnership, as what you would call McFred. Just for me personally, just in the big games, we haven't got a Declan Rice. We haven't got this player yet. This CDM. We haven't got a Frank Kessie. We haven't got this player yet. So, but I want to mention Jadon Sancho now. I'm going to mention something and I don't think a lot of people have mentioned. And if you are watching this, Jadon, by some bloody miracle, if you are watching this,
he's probably somewhere. I mean, blooming hell. Either that or best mates with your mother's brothers, uncles.
Oh, God, I've got so many links everywhere. But honestly, if you are watching this, Jadon, I'm very proud of you because we know you came. You've just come from Germany, from a country that was in lockdown and has been in lockdowns and things like that, to England, which is a bloody chaotic country to settle into, especially coming from overseas and things like that. You've also had a family bereavement recently as well, which I am sorry for, etc. And I hope all your family's doing well if you are watching this. But oh my God, the bounce back that you have had it's overwhelmed me in such a good way. Like, wow. I love him. I love Jadon Sancho.
Did people not watch him last season? You know, he was supposed to come to United. It fell through. It didn't happen. The start to his season at Dortmund last season was shocking. He really, really slow to start. But he kicked into gear and he was one of the best in business by the end of the season. It's basically the same this season. He's had the move. He's had a slow start. But now he's starting to fire. I think people need to be on notice. The slander, fair enough. People can say what they want. Flop. I don't care. I go by what he was like last season. I saw what he was like at the beginning of the season. I saw how he grew into it, and I saw how he finished it. And I can see him doing something similar with us, whether he's on the right or the left, because he can play either. I think people get so dragged down by, oh, he shouldn't be on the left, he should be on the right. Oh, he shouldn't be on the right, he should be on the left. No, he can do both.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. Again, I love Sancho. We'll go on to the manager news, though, and I'll ask you first about this. I'm not going to ask for your opinion on which manager you would prefer. I'm going to ask for your opinion on what Man United may do based on this news. So this is from when Real Madrid lost to PSG. This is from Miguel Delaney. Perez furious with Madrid's approach last night. Has renewed interest in Pochettino, who again impressed him. They're also conscious of potential Man United interest and they may need to act amid. I'm not sure what that word means specifically. The process to appoint a full-time manager, this is today, by Manchester United is now underway. A short list of candidates is thought to have been finalised, and efforts are being made to arrange preliminary conversations with them. That's from David Ornstein. So they may sort of make an early decision and go with Pochettino or Ten Hag. What do you think they will do? Do you think they will sort of make a decision at the end of the season, or do you think they will do it earlier than that, Kyne?
I think they'll do it at the end of the season.
Okay.
I just think it's kind of bound to happen. Where I think we should have got. I think we should have got Conte when he was available. Just my opinion. Obviously, yeah, we can get Ten Hag now, and I think we will get Ten Hag at the end of the season because there was the incident at Ajax.
Yeah,
It's kind of rumoured that he kind of wants to leave.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Not he directly wants to, but in a sense, he wants to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I think from his point of view, United's the right club. And I feel like if we are to get him at the end of the season, to secure him, or even if we're trying to do it earlier, we have to promise him that we will back him and sign who he wants. Otherwise, it's pointless in bringing him in and saying, we don't want you to sign him, even though we've got his system. So if you wanted to sign Anthony, which I think would be an amazing signing for us, they might disagree and say that we want to sign someone else. And then if that player fails, it kind of gets put on Ten Hag, and you go, why'd you sign him? He flopped. When we kind of don't really know that he wanted Anthony, Glazers wanted somebody else. So to secure him, you've kind of got to promise the whole, we will back you. We'll give you 4 players of your choice. We're going to need to sell 5 players, though. And we want to look to bring in youth like Charlie McNeil, like Medjbury. There's got to be a promise that makes him want to come. If we're securing him earlier in the season, if it comes to the end of the season, I feel like it's going to be more straight up demands of this has to happen, rather than in 2-3 weeks' time saying we're going to try and do this for you by this point in the season. And if he wants Pogba's contract renewed, speak to Pogba. Maybe, I don't really know that whole side of it, but saying Ten Hag wants you to stay, he will only sign for this amount of time if you're willing to sign a new deal. Potentially something like that. So I feel like we will get to the end of the season and not go for him now.
Okay. What's your thoughts on what the club will do, Gavin?
Well, we put in place before the end of the season so that it's done at the end of the season. I have no problem with them testing the water before, seeing what either the managers would be wanting with regards to the structure, the transfers are done, the control, etc., etc. I think both those managers are definitely going at the end of the season. Where they go, I think at the moment is still up in the air, especially when you've got PSG are going to lose him, so they'll need a manager. Are they try and hijack Ten Hag, or will they go for Zidane? Is Zidane going to take that job or wait for the French job? Then you've got Real Madrid. They're going to be losing a manager. They've always liked Poch, so fingers crossed that they would do that. My worry is that United will go, well, we liked him first. And there'll be a bidding, sort of like a war between Madrid and us over Poch.
Yeah.
All whilst in the background is Ten Hag, who I think would work better with Ralph.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think those two together in our club would be very exciting moving forward. I would be really optimistic. Obviously, it all depends on what level of power they give. You know, they have to take a back seat. They have to say, we leave this in your hands. We will okay it with regards to the finances, but we will let you choose the acquisition.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can agree with that. And on to the Atletico Madrid game in 2 days. These news that Atletico Madrid have some COVID cases pending. There's rumoured to be around 3 to 5 COVID cases. Obviously, I hope them players get better, etc., etc. However, it does positively impact United for the game. They are possibly missing their captain, Koke, as he didn't train today due to some inconveniences, is all that's been said. So I'm gonna ask for your predictions. I'm gonna predict 3-1 Man United first leg. What's your prediction, Gavin?
I'll go conservative and say 2-1. I do think they will get on the score sheet. I still think we have got some frailties in the team at the moment, and although there is a lot more positivity in the squad, I still think that we are a little bit suspect at the back. But I do think the attack will come to. We said earlier on, Ronaldo loves playing against.
Yeah.
In this Champions League, we've got Mr. Champions League, and we've got Champions League Varane. It's just written in the stars, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
As long as we take a positive result from there, I think that sets up the second leg just quite nicely.
1-1, 1-0, 1-0 Atletico, 3-1 United. What are you going to go with, Kyne?
I think it'll be 2-2. I've just got a feeling of, because if they do play a 5-back, I feel like we will score first.
Yeah.
The first goal. Then we'll concede.
I hope not.
We'll concede another. We'll be 2-1 down. And I know I'm kind of playing it out like then we score and equal, but I feel like we'll equalise, and obviously not to jump ahead into the second leg. I feel like the second leg's when Ronaldo will be cooking.
Hopefully.
Pressure then thinking, I'm not getting knocked out to Atletico.
We'll speak about that in a few weeks as well.
Positive as well. The draw is, you're not as nervous because of the away goal rules being gone. So,
definitely.
A positive result to take back. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. That's going to be the end of the stream there, though, guys, as I'm going to go and watch EastEnders, as someone's just ruined the ending for me, as well. I've just got the notification with Gavin, because you're in that same group chat. So I'm fuming about that right now. I'm absolutely dying inside about that right now. So I'm going to go and watch that. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be live either. There's a small possibility, and I mean very small possibility, I'll be live at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll be live at 7:45 p.m. for a watch along of Chelsea versus Lille, and then live on Sunday for the Carabao Cup final, and that'll be the streams for this week. I might try and fit a chilled vibes one in there.
And stay tuned for UFC, Ultimate Fighting Children.
Yeah, definitely. Just in the background, just fighting each other while we're talking about United.
So really.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you for tuning in. I do want to say thank you to the chat as well, because I was speaking about this with someone last night. Chat is a huge live chat is a huge sort of part of my streams. I do try to interact with you guys a lot, and I do appreciate you guys' support. So massive thank you to you guys for that, and massive thank you to you two when you do interact and things like that in the chat as well. And thank you to you two for coming on. We'll be back next week at 7 p.m. again to talk all things Man United. Let's hope we're back with 2 wins.
Champions win.
Yep, hopefully. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7:45 p.m. Remember to tune in for that.